So, you been up to much?
Yeah. Some sort of horrendous sample-based monstrosity with the generic beat under. Some sort of horrendous sample-based monstrosity with horrendous generic beat. Some sort of horrendous sample-based monstrosity with the generic beat under. Some sort of horrendous sample-based monstrosity with the generic beat under.
Oh, it's about 3 weeks ago when I was doing the voiceover. It reminds me of then.
Anyway, I need to construct.
Ooh.
Please hold. Hello, I'm back.
I heard a lot of screaming and mild peril.
Extended mild peril.
It might be some kind of eldritch horror that you killed and cooked.
I had a games night last night and I shot Cthulhu in the face with a Colt 45.
And you stuck him in the oven.
Do you want me to reveal this?
Yes. What is this? Oh my fucking god! You madman! You did it!
You maniac! You blew it up!
Damn you all to hell! The septuple halloumi burger!
It's even better that it's the mega sloss. It's 10. It's so many.
You, my friend, will need the hospital.
I need a bondulance already.
Wow, just well played, well fucking played. You had to order that, and they had to.
No. I didn't order this from BK. I actually bought these. I saw them in Aldi, and I was like, I'm going to buy all of these.
We've made it a reality. One of our dumb adverts has become real, and it's right here. It's a thing of beauty and terror. That looks so greasy. Like
it's so slidey.
My arteries are hardening just looking at it.
I physically couldn't eat all of this. I've got no cutlery or something, so I might just sort of reduce it down into maybe an actual burger I can eat.
That was one hell of a start to this show. Like, my God, I don't even know where to go from there. I got older. I turned 35. I'm now actually a white man in his mid-30s doing a podcast. We went to, the royal we, my fiance and I, we went to Cornwall, Falmouth.
Cornwall.
Well, it was...
Oh no. I'm sorry, I'm doing a bad here.
Is that going to become a Cornwall eventually? We went on a lot of nice walks, ate some food. We camped out instead of stayed at a hotel or an Airbnb because why would you go to somewhere as beautiful as Cornwall and stay in someone else's house? Doesn't make sense. Oh my God. It made like a sloshing noise and yeah. Oh, beautiful.
Free content usually for our OnlyFans.
Well, when I came back from... where did I go? Cornwall, that's the one.
Yeah.
We went via Bristol and went to a place called Ooh-wee Vegan. Some words for you. Marmite butter fries. We ordered way too much because we thought it would be a side, but apparently dirty fries are their own meal. So we ordered a portion each, and we were still eating them 3 days later. It was just so many.
Did you get side-eyed when you ordered that?
The guy asked me after I finished ordering £50 worth of food. Is that everything? I was just like, you're taking the piss.
Do you look like a man who's had all he could eat?
You don't make friends with salad. You don't make friends with salad. Speaking of salad, we had a barbecue on the Saturday that we got back, and it pissed it down a lot. But I got given birthday presents, other than your fantastic record player and stereo system, which I got early, which I think I might have mentioned in our previous episode. I got these fucking lights, which hopefully won't just crap out on me. Meat's daddy got me a big jar of hummus that he made, which was infused with a lot of spice.
It looked really good.
It was so tasty because he's all about the flavour as well as the spice. He's not all to just give you the mouth ow. He needs to give you the mouth yum as well. So he put a lot of...
Yeah, he puts a lot of things in your mouth.
He does. Smoky things. Yeah, that was all right. Someone vomited on our floor and couch, though. Nobody's owning up to it because nobody can remember. We cleaned it up. It's okay. Whoever it is, you're probably watching this. We don't mind. It's all right. It was a terrible carpet.
It's got the qualities of the furnishings they put into buses and coaches. They're deliberately designed to get dirty and not look so dirty.
Deliberately designed to make you feel sick, I think, when you look at my carpet. It's just like, you had a bad experience on our carpet. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that was something I don't want to repeat.
I never want to see that again. Never. It was a lot of fun, though, like the visit that we had. We had the visit. All in all, I like taking a week off just to chill out. But I understand that you have some news in the week that you took off as well.
Oh, yeah, I started a new job last week.
Hey!
I had the deep joy of going back into London to go to the office, and that was weird.
Not so way.
Getting on the train again quickly reminded me why I never liked my commute anyway.
Did you see any pigeons?
Yes.
Did they get on the train?
This time, no.
And I understand that you're not going to be going into London every day like you did with your
No.
older job. So
No, I don't want to do that again. No, thank you.
I'm full.
I'm full. I'm full.
I'm full of commuting. Too much. So many trains. Oh.
At least 7.
Wow. Someone's been practicing opening up the old throatways. That would be handy if you decide to do the beans challenge again. We've still got loads of beans left, by the way. Like, I took some to the cinema yesterday. Yes, I went to the cinema for the first time since last February or March. We went to see Black Widow. It was closer to the tone of Logan than it was Captain America, for instance. It's sort of like, it was a bit more grounded. It's still superheroes beating each other up on massive constructions, but they try to root it in pseudoscience rather than MacGuffins from another dimension. So there were still MacGuffins in there. There was a big MacGuffin.
Of course. Well, the whole MCU is based around MacGuffins.
It is. Like, look at this obelisk.
Look at this. It's the same as the other MacGuffin from the previous film, but in a different form.
It's a different colour. Ray Winstone's accent. He did a Russian accent. No, Ray. Don't do that. He's the bad guy? I don't really know if that's what you call him. He's definitely a bad person. But he is just a person. He doesn't appear to have any, like, superpowers or anything.
A Luthor or a whatever.
I don't want to spoil the plot. You should go see it if you like that sort of thing. I mean, the cinema experience itself was quite nice. There were only about 6 people in the screening. And still, there were still people that talked all the way through it. Even though there were that fewer people in there.
Whomst.
Whomst did not shut up.
Talking about Ray Winstone's accent, do you remember his accent from Cold Mountain?
I'm not sure if I've seen Cold Mountain. What's it about?
A Cold Mountain? Yeah, I can't really... It's been long enough ago, but I just remember his accent being horrific.
You best keep one eye open when you're sleeping.
Oh, yeah, he can't do anything except Ray Winston.
How does it compare to Mickey Rourke's accent in the second Iron Man?
Jules!
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of self-awareness to this. There was not in Black Widow. Anyway, speaking of inordinate amounts of money and stuff, I see that poster has found a nice home in its correct orientation and everything, so...
So I did try to put it up behind me.
Oh, no, that wouldn't have worked.
No, because I've got way too many lights. It's just like reflections. It's like, cool, I guess I'll move it. So that's a last-minute reorientation.
That's fine. I appreciate its inclusion in the background nonetheless. Yeah. To be fair, I was going to get an A0 version of it, but I just thought that won't even fit in his car on the way back. So just... One last thing before we actually start the show properly.
Oh, right.
This is the post-intro song pre-show guff. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by that burger because it looks really tasty. It slowly ascends. Oh, God. Please, Mother, not again.
Where will we sleep tonight, Mother? In Father's grave.
Let's actually get on with the episode. In case you haven't wondered, yes, we are a podcast. We're not just like, we haven't accidentally just turned the cameras on and just started talking. We kinda.
Welcome back to Always an Adventure, a podcast by Alex and Sam. This week...
Well, you gave it the old college try.
A cheesy burger is not the thing to have in your mouth when you need to do any talking at all. Welcome back to Always an Adventure, podcast by Alex and Sam. Presented this week in a classic format that everyone knows and loves. He's Sam.
And he's Alex. And we finally started. So, to start us off, Vincent posits more an essay than a question with... Oh, Jesus, are you ready? Given the inherent and most obvious flaws present in religion, all the wars and conflict that it's caused over what fundamentally resolves down to, actually, madam, I think you'll find that my mythical invisible sky Pokemon could defeat your mythical invisible sky Pokemon, right? Given all of that, and the fact that it underlines a flaw in human logic, where in the unexplained must be buffeted by vacuous mountains of fictitious bollocks, which, when passed through generations, becomes a foundation of belief, Jesus, that stands as a bastion, if not a rampart, for those who are unable to process logical steps in their existence, and require a Zor ball to reflect the invisible laser beams of uncertainty that fire from, say, space or the ocean. And focusing on Christianity here, if you had the power to change a single thing about Christianity, what would it be? And how do you anticipate that would change the viewpoint in modern times regarding said religion? Would your change have a positive or negative impact on society as a whole at expense to the believers, or would you preserve them in favour of logic and reason? Please provide your workings. Love you. Bye!
There's a lot of florid language here.
I think that was quite deliberate.
He's going for the word count.
Well, I think what he's basically saying is edit religion and cause potential chaos, or perhaps enact positive change.
So the actual question is, if we're going to focus on Christianity,
yeah.
I think the big problem here is that you can't change one world religion in a vacuum. If you look through the history of Christianity and also the other major world religions, there's a certain amount of interaction between them that would, if you were to impact one, you would impact the influence of another. Say, for argument's sake, that Christianity isn't as popular. It doesn't become the primary religion of the Roman Empire, say that doesn't happen and they keep with their old pantheon of gods. What would then happen later down the line? You wouldn't have things like the Reconquista, you wouldn't have the Crusades. You'd have a different arrangement of things happening. And fundamentally, because a lot of post-Roman states were somewhat political, religious entities, there was a lot of join of the two. You'd fundamentally change the Western world by changing more or less anything about Christianity, unless it was something really stupid, like Jesus was really a big whale or something in space.
Gajira.
So I think in this day and age, there shouldn't be a place for religion to dictate policy, say politically. You can have your morality set by a religion or based in a religion, but I don't think religion should control what should be secular, as in the governing of a country. It should be for all and not based on their religious belief. That would be nice.
Would the inclusion of crabs make a huge difference for the better or worse if 3 crabs went to visit baby Jesus on the shores of Nazareth?
You changed the nativity scene to baby Jesus was born on that fire festival beach.
Oh no. That was the room of festivals, wasn't it? Actually, no, the room was more successful. Probably made more money as well.
Yeah.
People are still talking about it. Go back to the whole Christianity in particular thing. Is he talking about like retroactively or whatever changing it, or just changing it right now? Because if you try to change anything right now and said this is the word of God, there will be fucking riots everywhere.
Schisms upon schisms have happened throughout history, and all religions end up doing that. They end up going, well, no, I don't believe your particular interpretation of this sentence is right, and then they might have a war about it.
Just what I think he meant to say was, please stop.
Yeah, if you ever look at like how Christianity is split over the millennia, it's like there's a lot of variation. But same with Islam, same with other major religions. They all have variations upon what is meant to be the true tenets of that religion.
I think we should just sack all religion off and just have a big old party. Idealism. That's where we're stuck, in this bubble of idealism right now.
That's our Zorb ball.
That's a sword ball that magically reflects something about sky lasers.
I wouldn't change the place religion had in the past, because for better or worse, we have the modern world because of it. But I would prefer if religion wasn't quite sort of this is the truth, this is how we live our lives so much in certain situations.
I think it's amazing that it's survived this long.
You have some pretty mad sort of things that come from religious texts, like usury laws or what you could and couldn't eat on certain days. And then loopholes were like, yeah, a beaver's a fish, so we can eat that on Friday.
Crabs.
It's just
always crabs.
All the crabs.
Yeah. If Jesus fed all those people with crabs and things that aren't crabs,
Burst forth of thousands of crabs.
just like a giant bloomer that it just has crabs inside it, but they're all live and they'll just kind of come out and say, you thought you were going to eat us? Ha 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 ha!
So crunchy, so spicy. I have a feeling that even land crabs kind of need to be in somewhere that's a bit more than the driest place on the planet.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. But, you know, if trab is the ultimate form...
We all become trab. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are white men in our 30s.
I'm the whitest man. I got a slight suntan. Hold on, look. My watch tan. That's how white I normally am, and then that's how tanned I got. So, in answer to your question, Vincent, we would not change the past about Christianity, but we would certainly like to make it less of a big deal. And fuck you, Vince, because you kind of made us do research for once. Speaking of doing research and stuff...
Let's have a look at some bullshit that I found on the internet. Facebook swipey McDoodads.
So that's the research that people expect us to do on this show.
So let's start off with some more wholesome ones. Someone is asking, anyone getting rid of any board games? Cheap? Needs to be one with dice and little figures you move around the board. However, there's a somewhat confusing arrangement of imagery for this.
Okay.
When in doubt, use a picture of a duck. Who don't like ducks?
Okay, so maybe this person is a duck and they're looking for board games for reasons undefined. That's a handsome picture of a duck, though. He's looking at the camera, or sort of...
Seductively. He's going to get his corkscrew penis right in your ear roll.
Oh, God.
On that theme, here's a similar thing. Does anybody know someone who repair laptop ply?
What, with plywood?
Laptop, £60.
Did they mean plus?
Plus, maybe.
But Z and Y are nowhere near each other on the keyboard. How the fuck did they do that?
And to further add confusion,
Oh no.
behold the image.
Okay, what clearly is happening here are nature and inanimate objects in nature are taking over the internet, and they're not very good at typing, which is fair enough because...
Gorge is like just a load of rocks, right?
Why does a gorge need a laptop?
Ply.
A plywood laptop. Maybe they're confused at what a laptop is. I mean, a gorge's lap's going to be massive, so a laptop might just be some decking that's made of ply.
Or a bridge.
No, because that would be... Oh no, you could put... Suppose if the gorge is the knees, then the bridge could go between the knees, and that is technically still on your lap, isn't it? Yeah, no, you're right.
Moving swiftly on. Does anyone have any jelly moods that they no longer need, plus? Jelly moods.
Sometimes I get in a jelly mood if I see someone that's got something that's better than mine. I'm fucking well jelly, mate.
Yes, that's the jelly mood.
Yes.
I don't think you're ready for this jelly. They're meant to be jelly molds.
Jelly molds, of course. People, your phone is a very clever device. I think it's more cleverer than you are. But you have to read what you've written before you press enter to make sure you've actually... It doesn't happen in real time. You can check, proofread. Right, anyway.
Final answer. So, does anybody know of any boy it fair happening tomorrow, please? Question mark. X.
What the fuck is a boy it fair?
It's meant to be boot fair, but they've...
But they spelled it boy as in boy, and then
Yeah, boy.
it fair is on a separate line. So boy. Does anyone know of any boy? It's fair happening tomorrow, please. So really, it's does anyone know of any boy? And then it's for a fair that's happening tomorrow. So do you know any boy? You know a pile of them, don't you? That just proves that people are stupid, but also nature is trying to get in on the game, which is just wonderful, really.
Nature is healing and it wants board games and a laptop.
It wants
repaired.
so many board games. Sometimes humans and nature try to work together, and it can often end disastrously. That in no way at all relates to my local news for this week at all.
Local news for local people.
The headline reads from our ever trusty Nottingham Post. Police foil cannabis dairy milk trademark factory at student home. They had allegedly been mixing Cadbury's dairy milk trademark with cannabis butter to make their own brand. Right, this is a bit of a crime one, but just the detail in it. Nottingham Trent students were allegedly making hundreds of cannabis chocolate bars from their university digs. Police raided the property in Johnson Road in Lenton on Friday, June the 4th, to uncover what is believed to be a major production line. Officers at the scene said the entire house was being used to run the operation, with nearly 600 bars of Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark chocolate found at the property. The chocolate was being cooked with cannabis butter, which was found hidden in the cellar, and then transformed into their own brand of chocolate bars. Like, it's not really transformed, it's just melting two things together. And also, right, these are students, allegedly.
Yeah.
And they're spending money on Cadbury's Dairy Milk when you could just get shitty little 20p bars of chocolate and get so many more.
If a load of students turned up and went, "Can we buy all of your chocolate, please?" You'd just be like,
No.
doubt.
You go to different places and just buy it. I've seen people buy like a box, like 24 bars of chocolate at a time because they're cheap. The point is, like, they could have made so much more money, like profit, off of it and not had to use Cadbury's fucking dairy milk. I don't understand what this... It's just weird. Anyway, police also uncovered evidence of their own branding and packaging, including stickers placed on the finished product promoting their alleged business called Flavor Boy, but Flavor still. We didn't print those. Our print shop did not print these, by the way. I have to say, I would have remembered. Officers said the significant amount of cannabis butter found at the house would have been used to make hundreds of bars. Police said this type of activity was starting to become more common in order to disguise the pungent smell of the drug. Well, yeah, obviously, you tried to put it in anything, I guess, really, like, you know, Yankee candles.
Yeah, if you smoke it, it fucking reeks.
Actually, as a sideline, I was walking home from work the other day, and this guy was trying to hide his joint behind him, but I could smell it, and it's just like...
It's like, mate, the people in the houses over there with the closed windows can smell that.
Yeah.
You're not fooling anyone.
I could smell it before I could see him. Hiding it is doing nothing. Officers are also aware of incidents in Nottingham where drug dealers are injecting cannabis oils into sweets such as gummy bears. Well, that sounds like a lot more effort as well. Like, Christ, just the tiny,
Individual
tiny
gummy
gummy bears. How many cannabis can you fit into your beans? 80.
Leave my beans alone.
Please. Sergeant Mark Southgate, who leads the Radford Operation Reacher team. Reacher team.
Jack Reacher team.
It appears they are making what is commonly known as cannabis edibles. They're using Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark.
Yeah, no.
We have found 33 made-up chocolate bars and 27 boxes of Cadbury's chocolate.
Flavour Lad is a made-up drug.
They've got a production line. They're cooking it up in the kitchen, making the bars up in the bedroom, and storing the products just around the house.
They're making bars in the bedroom.
Making bars in the toilet is where I do mine. Police confirmed the house was occupied by Nottingham Trent University students. Nottinghamshire Live has contacted the university for a comment. Like, they're just our students. We don't have a control over what they do in their house.
We're not their fucking parents. Jeez.
And I don't think there's any comment anywhere in the article, so that was just the end of that line.
We asked them, they said nothing.
Neighbours claim the property was occupied by... Yeah, we know this, for fuck's sake.
The bus driver that drove past every day confirmed that the house was occupied by students. The tenant's arrangement said that it was occupied by students. The students confirmed that they were also students.
Officers smashed down the front door of the terraced 6-bedroom house with a battering ram before detaining a number of people inside one of the bedrooms while the house was searched. There was no punctuation in that whatsoever.
One, they didn't batter down the back door. Two, everyone was in the bedroom making bars. Such flavour. That was Flavour
That
Town.
was Flavor Town, that was.
That was the flavonoid town, yeah.
Sergeant Southgate said there was a lot of intelligence from the community that the heavily populated student area was facing a number of issues. Intelligence in a student area. Are you serious?
Also, if they're imbibing the old Flavor Boy, perhaps the average level of intelligence will be a little bit, subdued.
I wonder why those nice children came around and gave us Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark chocolate bars.
Trademark.
Chocolate bars. Those troglodyte bars that everybody loves. Anyway, issues include the sale of drugs such as mudama, cannabis, ketamine, cocaine, and magic mushrooms. But how do you disguise some of those? Magic mushrooms in a chocolate bar doesn't sound very nice.
What about some sort of space omelette?
Spomlet.
Can I interest you in some Flavor Lad Spomlet?
Spomlet. Police did not only stumble across the cannabis chocolate bar operation, but also... all of these bars!
600 bars of chocolate. Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark. That they just sort of stumbled over. Quick, let's arrest someone.
But they also, in their falling down the stairs, Benny Hill style, uncovered a significant amount of cocaine and 4 boxes of illegal high nitrous oxide.
Was that illegal high, nitrous oxide or illegal high nitrous oxide?
It was illegal high nitrous oxide.
Is that how it's written on squirty cream cans?
Yep.
Ingredients: cream, illegal high nitrous oxide.
That's how the druggies know where to go, because it's said right there, and it's not sugar coated at all because it's squirty cream.
I've got your illegal high nitrous oxide right here. You're in my ass now. It's full of Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark.
Police also seized around £5,000 in cash, as well as laptops and phones. One suspect complained to the police that the seized laptop contained his coursework as he was escorted out the address in handcuffs. Maybe you should have thought about that before you started your illegal Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark cannabis operation.
My coursework.
Yeah, my poor coursework. Look, you seem to be doing quite well without the need of university education. That's classic students, though. Like when the whole lockdown restrictions came in for the first time, students were like, but we can't have parties. You're taking our rights away. It's like, yeah, we're also probably saving your life and the lives of millions of others. So
University is the best days of your life. I'm like, Jesus, really? You have to pay a king's ransom for the benefit of that.
yeah, they were pretty good, but I wouldn't say they're the best days of my life. Definitely did a lot of growing in that time, and I learned a lot outside of uni about life, like how to budget, how to live on £10 a week in London. Neighbours described how there was a lot of comings and goings from the property, and there was always a strong smell of cannabis. Well, if it's Lenton, the cannabis smell could have been coming from anywhere, because that is a student village, pretty much.
It's already in the brickwork. It just everything's dank, just dank on default.
The plot thickens. This is the second drugs warrant to be issued in the area over the last week. Police also descended.
Distended.
They descended on Kimbleton Avenue on Thursday, May 27th to close down a drug dealing operation. Oh, so this is just like a boring one. It's just a regular one. There's no chocolate bars involved. It's just...
It's no Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark.
Cannabis sweets are a big thing at the moment. It is common. It's a way of disguising it if it's in your possession, and it does not smell. Talking about the Johnson Road raid, Sergeant Southgate added, "This is a cracking result." Please don't let that be a drug pun you put in there, for fuck's sake.
This is a cocaine result.
We are getting this information from the community, and they are telling us, and we are reacting to it. We are doing the things that are happening, basically.
Policeman can confirm I'm doing my job.
If you come to Nottingham to deal drugs, we will get you. Except when we don't, because I see it all the time. You're not getting them, are you? And finally, to close off this article, no one from Cadbury's was available for comment when we put the details of the operation to them.
Cadbury's replied and said, piss off.
Just like, piss off, it's not our problem. We got your money. Right, that's the end of that fucking news. Do you have a similar article?
Oh boy, do I. A driver who crashed into a barrier on the M20 after taking ketamine, idiot, has been jailed for more than 4 years after officers seized more than 12,000 deals of LSD. Deals?
So how many do you want, mate? Can I have 6 deals, please?
Who buys one tab? Who buys one? Come on.
I just have a half, please.
Can you tear it into quarters? I want a microdose on the way home. On Wednesday, July the 22nd, police attended the coastbound carriageway of the M20 near the junction for Bluebell Hill, following a report that a vehicle had been driving erratically before coming to a halt. I am not surprised. This man had taken ketamine.
I'm surprised you're still awake.
Well, he's awake now in that mugshot. The officers found the van stationary against the barrier on the hard shoulder, and the driver, Jack Supple, admitted to have taken ketamine. He was arrested, and a search of his vehicle recovered perforated cardboard sheets of LSD deals on the sun visor.
That's not where you keep them.
And inside a sports bag on the back seat.
Sports.
Doing so many sports. A small bag containing ketamine was also seized from the front passenger footwell.
Well, that was his own personal stash, so he wasn't trying to deal that, was he?
His home address was searched, and more LSD deals were found, along with around £2,000 in cash hidden inside a bottle. Probably saying not full of money. So he pleaded guilty, 4 years and 6 months in prison.
Oh man, all of those deals, they probably flushed them.
So many
Or
deals.
incinerated them, or however they get rid of LSD so it doesn't become part of the water table of England.
Dissolve them slowly in their mouths. Investigating officer, Detective Constable Tony Hatcher of Tunbridge CID said, in total, our officers seized 12,342 LSD deals and an estimated street value of almost £21,000. This is a significant quantity of Class A drugs, and it's only right Supple is now serving a prison sentence. It is wrong that drug dealers profit from their criminality, and it will be seeking confiscation of the cash seized on the search of his home address.
I'm sorry. It is wrong that drug dealers profit from drug dealing. That's how they make their money. It's not legal, but it's how they make their money. So, yeah, I guess it is wrong, Mr. Hatcher or Hatchet or whatever his fucking name was.
Tony Hatcher.
Tony Hatcher. Hatcher, Supple. Supple, what a name.
That mugshot.
Oh man, he looks very wired. We need to wake him up. Coffee's not doing it. Need to keep your eyes open. Yep, that's not a problem. Where are we going? Is my car all right? I want to get all my deals back. I know that's like the clinical fucking term for just tabs or whatever, because they don't want to make it sound cool or anything. Just shut up. Mr. Supple, I'll buy you a beer when you come. No, I won't. I don't want to meet that man, ever. He thinks it's a good idea to drive with a car full of drugs while also on a completely different drug.
A drug not known for its ability to enhance your capabilities when driving.
Yeah, or literally anything else. They call it a K-hole for a reason. It's not called a K-pyramid or a K-Ferris wheel.
Okay, circus cannon.
No, it'd be Circus Cannon, but with a K. Wow, Mr. Supple, maybe you could have a word with these students and put your deals into some Cadbury's Dairy Milk trademark. I reckon they could synergise their operations.
Right, Laluni asks, favourite imagined animal and plant / thing life form mix?
Raccoon toaster. It tastes a bit gamey, though.
Where would the toast come out? Would it be chest? Would it be side saddle toast? Would it come out the spine?
Come out the spine. You're not seeing Futurama.
Not the raccoon toaster one, no. Or if I have, I've forgotten it.
Kind of gamey.
There we go. Reference that I didn't get, dear listeners.
Futurama reference you didn't get.
If it's not season 2 till 4.5 in German, I don't know it.
So I like to be stimulated overwhelmingly so when watching cartoons. Thank you.
Yeah, if it's not in Klingon, I'm not interested.
Hey, maybe if you want to be overstimulated while watching cartoons, I recommend you to have a cannabis deal or something.
Maybe I need 12,000 LSD deals before I...
Seriously, as serious you can get to this question. It would be beneficial to have a fruit or veg-bearing plant that can get up and walk around and stay in the sunlight, perhaps. But you don't want it running away. So you kind of have to go that extra mile in, people talk to plants. You would literally have to talk to the plant in order to make it not go, I don't like you anymore. I'm just going to get eaten by your neighbour instead. Everyone wants mobile cabbage, right?
Got to catch your cabbage now. It doesn't stay in one spot. It's running around making wailing noises.
But if it's sentient, would that be at odds with my veganism? Because
it's a moral
quandary.
quandary.
It's kind of alive now, so I just have to keep it as a pet.
It was alive beforehand, but now it feels the suffering of you eating it.
I'd take a herd of lovable roaming cabbages if it meant not eating them. Just have like a herd of cabbages, like a herd of toasters.
Where do they get the bread from? If they're a naturally occurring creature, where does the bread come from?
They have like some kind of weird way of making it, like with their metabolism, and it just metabolizes yeast into like a square of bread-like substance, which is also a bit meaty.
Somehow they're also a loaf tin, or is there some sort of creature that forms loaves in its stomach, and then its teeth are like these little slots, and it fires out sliced bread? You're on a similar vein to what I would answer this question with. Is I was thinking like a real life Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
Or other Pokemon are available, imaginary or real.
Maybe, bears fruit and veg, so you don't eat the thing, you just have the thing that comes off the thing. So you're just like, I'm just going to have one of your onions and throw it at a car.
I'm going to pelt cars with a load of apples. No, I've got these freshly picked bear onions.
If you can pick onions off of a bear, congratulations.
You have to placate it with maybe honey on a stick or salmon on a rocket salmon.
Dead fast turbo rocket salmon
Straight to your onion bear's mouth.
And then while it's distracted, you just pick the onions off of its back.
You twist them off like not how onions work.
Apples, you kind of lightly twist apples when you take them off the trees. So kind of like that, but not apples, as we have discussed, onions.
Evidence of onions being dropped.
The sound of onions being dropped. But for 1 second only, eh? What would that sound like?
Good question. Maybe we need 6 or 7 tracks of that happening at the same time as your... Taking on some feedback on this, I've tried to make this slightly easier by careful editing, so you're not just getting the literal first second of the track anymore.
Cool.
And in fact, one of them, because there was no 1 second that really gave you any idea what the fuck it was, you've got 2 seconds for one, so I'm being extra generous. We're going to take it smooth and slow. Here's your first one.
Kind of sounds like a Scooby-Doo sting. It's like dun 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 dun, and someone's like creeping up the stairs, and it's like, oh no. Can I have it again, please? Even though Alex has made it easier for me, doesn't change the fact that I'm still an idiot.
It's not even like it's popular songs, so I've tried to keep it not like brand new stuff, because I know you haven't probably listened to the radio in about 25 years.
Yeah, I completely didn't know what Pumped Up Kicks was the other week. Like, never heard it before in my life.
That's not even new!
Sounds a little bit like someone that I used to know by Gotcha, but probably not. No, it's got a similar...
No.
No, in which case, no, that was my only shot.
Okay, next one.
Are these in a normal style, or are they a fucking stupid style again?
They're covers.
Oh, all right, okay. All right, fucking hell.
I've tried to pick out bits of the melody that should make it, he says, obvious what it is.
Right, okay. Have it again. Oh no, it's happening again. The fucking help. Why is this happening to me? Is it as old as the Beatles?
Not quite.
Okay. No, sorry. I'm just going to give myself an aneurysm.
Next.
Karma Police by Radiohead?
No.
Okay, oh no. The only thing I can think of, I've just got Radiohead songs stuck in my head now, unfortunately, because I started humming Karma Police in my fucking head, and that's all I can fucking hear. Oh god, we're not doing well, are we?
No, you're not doing very well.
We, the royal we.
Next.
That sounds like bloody fucking Hotel California again.
It is.
It is.
Congratulations,
Yay!
you got one.
The third time in a row we've heard Hotel California.
Right, this one you get 2 seconds.
Okay. Can I have that again? Oh god, that's familiar. Oh god. I'm just trying to guess what the next fucking note will be in my head. Wait, I think I just got it. No. No, I can't fucking remember what it's called. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't that.
Okay.
All right, final one. You best fucking get this.
Is it Heaven by DJ Sammy?
No, it's not that.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh, can I hear? Sorry, I was talking through that. Can you do that again? Again? Just making you do it over and over again, please. No, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. You are disappointed in me. I got one though, so I'm all right.
You got 1 out of 6.
Well,
So the first one was it's Billie Jean by Michael Jackson. Played on a string quartet. The second one was Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana.
oh boy. Cool.
The third one was Don't Speak by No Doubt. Hotel California was the next one. Obviously, I seemingly can't stop finding covers of Hotel California for you to work out what it is. Number 5 was We Built the City by Spaceship. And finally, Africa by Toto.
Ah. It's a completely different tempo for a start as well.
Seeing as you got one right, you get to listen to all the others that you got wrong together as your forfeit.
Blah blah. Ah, wow. That was, again, very devious. You keep finding these covers of songs that I didn't even know ever existed. Who does a fucking cover of Heart Shaped Box in that medium, or just a piano version of this Built This City on Rock and Roll? Like, just who are these people?
Tune in next time for me trying to get Sam to not work out that the song I've chosen is, again, Hotel California.
I'm fully expecting that at some point they're all going to be Hotel California.
You know that might happen.
Yeah, I would put
Don't
it
count
past
the chickens until they're laid or whatever.
chickens or frogs. Nobody likes them gay frogs, especially Alex Jones. Unfortunately, there are conspiracy theories out there, and almost all of them are fucking stupid, but some are more stupid than others. And the stupidest on top of the pile, Hedge has asked us this week, Flat Earth, and then she linked us to a video about Flat Earth. I watched the video. I don't know about you.
The link she sent sort of gets you about 20 minutes in, and I watched it for a couple of minutes and went, oh, Shane Dawson can go fucking get in the sea, and I'm done.
I don't really like Shane Dawson either. So I pushed through it, and it's about his brother, who is a conspiracy nut, explaining how Flat Earth theory could be a bit more grounded in reality than you think, even if it isn't true. It's not saying that Earth is flat, it's suggesting that the idea that something like that could be, because we've got no way of proving it otherwise because of something bullshit. And before I almost tore my laptop in half through frustration, I tried to sit down and think about what the fuck this actually meant. And really, it's if you apply any amount of guff to any given thing, of course it's going to make sense. That's how cults are started, because people just get drilled down with like facts, and then it starts to make you doubt everything you thought you knew. And that's exactly how, that's basically brainwashing. And that's how it happened to these people. They started off skeptical, and then they just got so much stuff chucked at them, and then they started believing that bullshit, and then they convinced themselves that that was the truth.
It's just clearly there's no application of Occam's razor, which is the thing with the least amount of assumptions in there is usually the accurate answer. If you're going to go down well, we can't trust anyone that shows us the Earth is a globe because they're untrustworthy. It's a bit like, well, that's a lot of people that you're now just saying are untrustworthy. Where's the evidence of any of that? It's all these ridiculous piles upon piles of assumptions to get to an answer that's a load of old bunk anyway.
It also goes on about the moon landings, that old chestnut as well. And
like any space travel, getting to the moon is just about being able to get enough stuff off this planet and out of the Earth's orbit, and then still be able to land on another planet and keep people alive in the process. Laser point is probably a bad idea, but you can fire lasers. You can get laser light from this planet to the moon really easily. When you have to get tens of tons of stuff into and out of Earth's orbit, that's when the challenges are, because it's an application of energy. It's not like we can't do it. It was a load of old bollocks. No, we can do it. It's just that it's, from an engineering point of view, a pain in the ass to do without killing people.
yeah, that's why we send monkeys up, because monkeys aren't people and they don't count.
Or dogs you find on the street.
Yes, was that Russia that did that? You had to choose one adorable animal. They didn't have any monkeys laying around, so they're just like, you will do, in the best Ray Winston Russian accent you can possibly do.
There's lots of things you can go from to say, yes, the Earth is an oblate spheroid and it orbits the sun, and here's all these other things that happen because of those things being true, or at least we believe them to be. Well, they're not just belief of true, they're actual scientific fact, they're proper theory, not this flat Earth theory. People need to have this, I know something that other people don't. Look at me, I'm so edgy. I'm full of this knowledge that other people clearly can't see because they're whatever. And it's just like, no, you desperately want to be like unique and have this perspective on things that other people don't. It's like, it's not true.
Especially with the flat Earth thing, it's like they feel like they're part of like an elite club almost. Like, yes, we know something that you don't, and we believe it, and we have all of these facts, and you don't know because you don't understand, man. And it's just like, we do understand that it's a complete load of bunk. Speaking of laser pointers, there's that hilarious bit in the documentary about Flat Earth where they tried to shine a laser pointer across a massive lake. And it doesn't work, obviously. And then they get one of those devices, I can't remember what they're called, but they gauge the curvature of the Earth as it rotates. They got two of them, and it worked, so therefore it didn't work for them. So they went, oh no, I think those are broken. How much fucking ignorance do you have to have before you start thinking... They're suggesting it was intercepted by like the government or something to... I was just like...
Let's throw a conspiracy assumption in there because it doesn't match what we believe. Again, it's just like, these assumptions, they're baseless. It's because it doesn't fit your narrative, therefore it's wrong, or it's lizard people, or whatever you want to call it. It's just like, come on, reel it in a little bit and think, right, why do I need to pile all of these assumptions onto this to make this true?
Yeah.
How can I prove any of these? Otherwise, they're just baseless.
Sick of these feckless fuckwits diluting the average IQ while simultaneously ruining an otherwise soul-crushing commute. Perinoble Holdings has something that may help. Conspiracy Spray. Extensively tested on some of the most diluted oiks with ceaseless aplomb. We can confidently say Conspiracy Spray is guaranteed to work. With its patented formula, details of which I won't bore you with, hones in on the nonsensical bullshit and essentially dissolves it. Flat earthers? Gone. Chemtrail nuts? Evaporated. 5G masked inflamers? Snuffed out. Anti-vaxxers? Cured. Lizard people? Deserted. Believers in the inevitable heat death of the universe. Anyways, Conspiracy Spray comes in a pocket-sized can in several complementary shades. Conspiracy Spray. Spray away the conspiracy.
This is not an admission that our product is merely a front for something sinister. Do not read into this if you value your continued existence on this planet, or if you prefer to not be fused to a flock of mind-controlled pigeons. Have a lovely day. We insist.
Do you think it's a way of certain people exercising control over an aspect of their lives, and by extension the lives of others if they influence them? Because does it stem from like an insecurity or an anxiety that their life has no worth if they're not doing something like this? I mean, there are far more creative and wonderful things you can do, almost with next to no talent. Look what we're doing. We're doing a podcast, and it's probably the most fun and creative thing I've ever done.
You heard it here first. We have no talent. Yeah, I guess there is a certain amount of needing to feel special or important and stuff, because we are pretty insignificant. If you look at the vastness of our universe that we can observe, we are pretty absolutely microscopic in comparison. Yeah. Whereas, say, like, if you look at the fundamental Christian flat earth style, which is, we're very important, this is God's land and God's people, and everything revolves around us, it's very outward ignoring. He goes, well, none of that exists. None of the observable universe really exists in the way that we observe it. It's everything's there for our importance, and we honestly have no reason to be here apart from to exist.
Yeah, going back to the whole Christianity thing, I suppose we need a way to sort of justify our existence. Otherwise, it's just chaos. Religion, conspiracy theories, being an influencer, just anything. Like, just look at me. I was here. It is important. And if I don't document it or make some kind of impact in some way, then what was the point of my existence? Just to exist. We've said it before in here.
Yeah.
It is to exist.
Yeah.
So just make the most of it and don't waste your time on just selectively ignoring the facts in favor of this weird theory that you have just found out. For our listeners, I was very heavily air quoting there. Basically, the Earth isn't flat, just like 5G isn't in our vaccines. Shut the fuck up.
The Earth as a planetary body cannot be flat. It just doesn't work.
It's impossible.
How would satellites work? How would seasons work? How would variable length of day and stuff?
Yeah.
Things like having a small sun doesn't work. Is the moon hologram? It's just like, come on, no. It's there. It's a physical thing that orbits our planet.
The planet orbits the sun, and that takes 365 and a quarter days. Birthdays happen once a year. Let's go on to my story time where I talk about a birthday that isn't mine. Just doing a shit. My friend, he owns a farm. Well, he doesn't own a farm. He lives on a farm that his dad owns. That's got very expansive orchards and fields, and he quite often hosted parties. Well, it was his elder brother that started it all off. And then the mantle got passed to him when his older brother moved away. And I've been to quite a few of them in the past, but this particular one was something special, really. And I remember Epic Loud just came out by Devin Townsend, and I was blasting that on my terrible, terrible stereo. I think you were also listening to it, but in your car, like just this weird sort of like, we are nerds. As soon as I got there, I got out of the car. It was just like, it brought back all the memories of like, I used to go there like when I was a teenager and just hang out in all that lot. They used to do like Class A drugs and I wasn't interested. I was just like, I'm just here. I'll just drink me cider and watch you guys have fun. And that was fantastic. I just loved it. And it was a lovely day because it was July.
I can confirm it was a nice day.
I just had a really good feeling. Like, just there's something magical about summer times that sort of gets me all nostalgic anyway. So we walked down to the location carrying lots and lots of stuff. We get down there and immediately start breaking wood up for a campfire, which I remember you like doing running jumps into some pallets and smashing them. And I helped Ollie set up his hi-fi, which he put in a tiny little tent to keep it dry in case it rained and stuff. It was a proper hi-fi system, just like shammed in a tent.
One of them was a Gemini amp. I think that was mine.
Oh, maybe you brought one along then. I can't remember how much pre-planning went into this party, but
I remember the tent with the hi-fi in it, which is just like some random bookshelf speakers just sticking outside of the tent. Was that running off a Jenny?
It was, yeah. He brought a Jenny down as well. So
a little pop Jenny going off in the background. So I was like, I guess we'll have to turn this up.
Oh, what a shame. We had to turn the music up.
I didn't really care about that amp because you don't plug anything you care about into a Jenny. The power that comes out of them, especially small ones, is kind of spiky.
Once all that was set up, we started with the barbecue, which, Alex, I believe you took command because you are like barbecue meat master.
Can't help myself.
It's just like, oh, look, a grill. As far as I remember, you were just eating some of the things just straight off the grill. No plates for me.
Where I'm going, I don't need no plates. Some of it got left on there for so long it turned into like
carbon. As sunset neared, we drink and drink and drink. Of course we did. Sun was going down. It's getting a bit cooler, so Peanut steps up with his bushcraft fire starting skills. Created a little pyramid, and I think you helped with that as well. But we managed to get the fire lit like half an hour after we started. Yeah, so we just all sat around and just chilled out. I think Izzy had turned up by this point as well. Yeah, of course, I've known Gilbert for quite a while, and he likes showing his arse to people, and now he's got an excuse because he's got a tattoo on his bum, and he has the hairiest, most unattractive looking rear end. And I don't even know what that tattoo is of.
Picture doesn't really make it obvious
like
now, does
red
it?
Red blob.
Man, that's a hairy bum.
It is the hairiest of bums. As midnight nears, we're all sort of like getting super chilled, and then out of nowhere, this guy turns up who works on Ollie's farm, and we've been drinking for hours, but he seemed to be drinking for 37 years. He was steaming drunk, and I don't know why he seemed really pissed off at me specifically, and he was just like yelling at me, but like in a really slurred way, and he couldn't even stand up. He was like dragging himself along at some points, and it was kind of like a bit upsetting, I guess. We weren't taking the piss out of him. We just wanted to make sure he was okay.
So by this time, the fire was fairly well established, and he kind of sort of rolled around near the fire to the point that he kind of rolled into the fire. We're like, okay, it's time to take you away from fire. whilst also he was sort of quietly slurring insults at you for some reason.
I don't know what I did. I did nothing. I think I might have like giggled at the fact that he initially fell over because he wasn't near the fire at this point, and he probably took massive umbrage at that. He thought I was taking the piss out of him. I remember you saying like, "Oh, don't worry about it. He's clearly just, he's got a lot of shit going on. He's coming out in ugly ways and stuff." To bring the mood back up again, we put on like a playlist of Lonely Island songs, and weirdly enough, I was in the shower earlier and I put a random playlist on, and We Like Sports came on, and that was one of the songs.
It's like if you mention something once and then Amazon's like, do you want to buy all of these things that are related to that one thing you said once?
Speaking of which, my fiance, when she watched the sex toys episode that we did, she looked up tentacle sex toys, and now she's just getting targeted adverts for like really massive dildos.
Talking about massive dildos, I almost mentioned a certain person's name in a conversation last night because you know who I'm talking about.
Dildo squirts.
Someone said they watched a video of someone putting a whole cucumber in the microwave. When it comes out of the microwave, it's sort of just flopping. So there was some sort of, well, you could use that on yourself, I guess.
That would be way too hot. Fresh out the microwave temperature things inside your body is not going to be a good idea. Anyway, shall we sort of steer this ship back to the story before it crashes into the rocks?
Away from the craggy rocks of Bradildo squirts.
And her microwave cucumbers. When we are all very, very drunk and swaying, we all had like this massive group hug that we did. We were sort of like huddled together, and we're being really soppy. Oh, I love you, man. I love you, man. I remember something very specific you said to me that night. Sam, I want you to know that I'm glad that we reconnected. You're a very special person. And I was just like, I was so taken aback by it, because I think that's when I knew, Alex, that we were going to be best friends.
Yeah.
That's soppy. Dude. Completely undermined my entire fucking sentiment by spilling juice down me then.
Let me pratfall after this heartfelt sentiment.
That was a really significant moment for me, even if you barely remember it because we were all really pissed.
You brought the joy of knowing you back into my life, which I clearly had missed in the time that I hadn't been hanging around with you.
Yeah, I bring the joy, I bring the chaos, I bring whatever this is.
Bring the noise!
Tying in nicely with the whole Earth isn't flat thing, about 3 a.m. Peanut informed us of a space station that was going to become visible overhead. And I remember we all just sat in silence and just watched this blob sort of like travel across the sky, and it was really quite magical actually, because at 3 a.m. in summer the sun is just threatening to sort of come up, and the sky goes a bit bruised as well, so it was still fully dark, but then there was this like haze on the horizon. It was very, very good. And you and Peanut went to try and retrieve some wood, I believe.
So our campsite was quite close to a well-established bit of woodland that kind of, I think it had like a little rivery bit in the middle. So we went into the interior of it, and there was some dead trees there. And if I recall, we were looking for wood, and then one of the still standing but very dead-looking trees wasn't rotted out. It was just pretty bone dry and kind of ready to fall. I can't exactly remember how it happened, but I do remember distinctly a tree falling towards me, and as I hit the ground, it landed just on top of me. It didn't crush me, because it just happened to be that I was in a little divot, and it landed on the ground either side of me. And in the pitch dark, Peanut did not know if I'd just been crushed by a tree. Mild peril. But it was fine. It was just sort of resting on me.
I don't remember it too much, but I didn't even hear anyone screaming in peril or anything. I think you guys just dealt with it.
And then when I got out underneath of it, we ended up both lifting it. But what happened was at some point, because I couldn't see him, I started lifting it, but I lifted it with him on it. So I deadlifted this tree, and it's him on it as well. I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that, because it's obviously surprisingly heavy with a whole human on it.
Yeah, drunken hero strength those. Oh, it just landed on me. I've been imbued with the tree's power. Dead wood? Oh no. Aw, it happens to the best of us. So once that mild drama was out the way, I think you came back to the camp, and Ollie had fallen asleep right next to the fire. Gilbert finally fell asleep. Peanut did, and Bella, they went to bed around 4-ish. And then so it was just me, you, and Izzy that were left. I think we'd sort of drunk ourselves sort of sober by that point, because we were steadily sipping them by that point. And so we were just chatting loads until finally the sun started peeking over the horizon. And we were like, that looks really cool. Shall we walk to a more open space so we can watch this motherfucker rise? And so we did. We walked through the orchards and to this open field where the parties are normally held, actually. We just chatted more, and I remember...
Yeah, for ages.
Yeah, for ages. And I remember Izzy telling us about her fiancé as well, and then she just randomly showed us a picture of them, and we're like, yeah, well, that was probably more than of that person that we needed to see. The sunrise, I think just the way sun works, it kind of gave me a second wind. I was kind of flagging a bit, and then it's sort of, not to drink, but just to be awake. And it was just like...
Yeah, because we didn't... Did we even sleep?
We may have had a nap. So about 6 a.m, the sun was pretty much risen, so we went back to camp and started the barbecue up again.
I think we were like, does anyone want more meat? And they're like, no.
Shortly after that, I decided to go for a nap. I woke up at around 8:30, so I had about a 2-hour nap. I threw a burger on top of Gilbert's tent, and it just slowly cooked not cooked, but went brown in the sun, and he was so mad. That's not why he packed up and went away, but we'll get to that in a second. So about 10 o'clock, you and Izzy decided to go for a nap. And didn't you fall asleep and you had a skittle in your ear or your hair or something like?
Yeah, so at some point I had a hoodie on, or that someone was wearing a hoodie, and at some point Skittles got thrown at the hoodie or the person in the hoodie, and there was one Skittle or something in the hood, and it managed to find itself into my hair or something as I slept, because I put this hoodie on, it just stuck to my face or whatever it was.
One? A Skittle?
Yeah, it was pretty weird, because I remember you waking up going like, what the fuck is this doing in here? I don't even remember Skittles being any element at any point. I don't remember them being brought or eaten or thrown.
Synopsificated.
Yeah. I hang out by the pond, and then Peanut comes along and decides that he's going to go skinny dipping in the pond, which, it was a beautiful morning. It was in there for ages, so I went back and just joined you guys. And when Gilbert finally emerged from his tent, he was kind of annoyed that a burger was on top of it. But that was nothing compared to when he looked around and Peanut strolling into the camp, fucking dick swinging in the wind. I was not bothered. You weren't bothered, but Gilbert seemed particularly perturbed by the fact that a naked man just walked in. Probably what was worse for him was when Peanut crawled into his own tent, and what Gilbert saw was just bumhole and ballsack just looking at him as he was looking back.
He looked at the abyss and he did not like what he saw.
So he packed up and left. Everyone's got their limit, I guess.
It's too early for this shit.
We see that as a sign to maybe we should start packing away, because it was past midday at this point, I think. We decided to clean up, but we quickly get distracted by the discarded sausages that were just lying around uncooked. Peanut starts trying to use them like poi, that's swinging them around, and then it just basically descending into just mashing them and smashing them and kicking them and doing all sorts of stupid shit. And the best picture came out of that ever. Alex looks really sort of like some kind of face up, but then there's this sausage in the top right-hand corner of the picture, because you don't notice it at first. It's like, what are these two doing just in this picture? And then suddenly there's this tiny little sausage, just wee. Anyway, that was pretty much the end. We all went home and actually went to sleep. Like I said, it was just a magical evening. It was crackling with that rare energy that can occur with smaller gatherings. And other than the tree falling on you, and Gilbert getting mild PTSD from the whole swinging sack anus thing,
and a guy almost setting himself on fire,
nobody got seriously hurt. So yeah, that is the end of that story. We went on to have a few more things down at Ollie's farm, but I think that's the one that sticks out the most to me. That was a very long story, but I included you in it, so you'd fall asleep. Hey! Now, how do we go on from that massive mess? I guess your room is kind of a massive mess a lot of the time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is.
It's the time that Sam gets me to talk about shit.
Yeah, so I do always have lots and lots of clutter. This clearly has not been used for a while, that's why it's so dusty.
What in God's name is that?
It's a helping hand thing.
Sorry, you're going to have to clarify what...
It's like a Doc Ock set of arms.
Oh, does it fasten to the table? I can't see the very bottom of it. All right.
It's got a clampy bit.
The clamps.
The clamp. So you clamp it to a table, and then you can use it to hold things with these clips. It's got a little magnifying glass and light. So, yeah, it's useful for when you need 3 or more hands, which seems to be any time you ever solder anything.
Oh, so you still use it. It's not just like a dusty old relic.
No, I just haven't needed to solder anything that requires me to hold things, so I can sort of get a... Without them, you kind of get this technique of being able to hold things with your little fingers and sort of use your fingers in ways that you didn't quite expect you to be able to. But yeah, oftentimes there's things you just can't do without it, like skating across a table or just generally just not being very easy to do. And this is where this device helps.
Where did you get something like that? I've never seen a device quite like that, but then again, I guess I've never looked for one like that. So.
No, normally you wouldn't need one, but yeah, as with everything, eBay.
Of course, the treasure trove of random bullshit and broken things that you like fixing. Have you got any more broken things that you've bought recently?
Oh yeah, that's old.
Yep.
But that's broken. That's new, also broken. You can't tell what that is. That also broken. That little speaker up there, you can't see. There's something up there that was broken.
So really, you're just getting nowhere with reducing the amount of clutter that you have in your existence.
Yeah, I fix a couple of things, then I buy like 10 times as many things. I've bought so many record players. Electronics, don't fix that.
Yeah. So it's just as well that all these objects don't have their own sentience, isn't it? Because they would just all be screaming, "Father, why?"
Why'd you leave me in such a broken way? Our final question is from Ace Abe. Which inanimate object would you give sentience to?
I noticed that the pairs of questions that we have are quite similar. There's the religion and conspiracy, and then things that don't have feelings, having feelings. This is a little bit broader, I guess. But unfortunately, I do have a history of mistreating inanimate objects. So perhaps they'd hold a grudge for my past transgressions. So I wouldn't really want to make anything sentient in case I woke up and my alarm clock was stabbing me in the neck or something like. Perhaps my snapshot camera, so I could tell it not to do that stupid fucking focus hunting thing that it keeps trying to do all the time. Plus, it would be able to give me some feedback on how good or bad my photos are. It's like the talkie toaster in Red Dwarf. It's always trying to give you toast. So I reckon I'll choose my camera because it would be quite useful to know what the fuck's going on in its mind.
If we're talking sentience here, we're saying we're giving an inanimate object human-level intelligence.
Yes, pretty much. But it can't do things like humans can.
It's still the inanimate object. It just so happens to be that it has intelligence. Yeah. Is it equivalent of a human's, or is it actually just a human's? So you transplant a human's mind into an inanimate object.
So is this how you're going to be immortal, by transplanting your mind into a busted record player?
I couldn't think of anything worse. That's kind of what I'm getting to, is that how close to, is it a human being in an inanimate object is this? Because if it is, then I couldn't think of anything worse for the poor, now sentient inanimate object.
You're an inanimate fucking object!
Just assuming that it just has human level intelligence. It's not a literal human in a fucking box.
It sounds awful. It's very much, I have no mouth, but I must scream. I'd rather it not be given sentience. If I had
gun to your head, would you make the gun be sentient so you could talk it out of it?
You make a fair point there. If you give guns sentience, then they'd have to think about what they're used for.
And maybe gun crime would go down or up. It depends how sick of your bullshit.
You deserve this.
It just turns it on in the owner. Blam!
Wow, so we're going to make something that knows that it's, I don't know, a telephone or whatever.
I can hear seagulls. If you gave a telephone sentience, that would really fuck up your day.
Give your iPhone intelligence and just be like, congratulations, you realise that you're possessed by someone. You entirely exist for the pleasure of the person who holds you in their hand.
That's a good point, actually. Like, we're already dicks to so many things on the planet. Maybe we should just leave technology out of it. Give
your sentience to a killer robot thing so it can end us all. Yeah, Skynet. Basically, let's make Skynet and then let it destroy us. That's fine.
Yep.
We deserve it. That's our own hubris kicking us right up the bum.
As it will eventually anyway. So, if anything, the answer to our question is very prophetic. There you go, Ace Abe. There's our answer. Basically, just end the fucking world.
Yeah. Whatever it is, make sure it's deadly so it can kill us for being such idiots.
And being such idiots we are, I think that we should kill this episode and end it.
We should give mid-2010s Dell laptops sentience so they can fly drones at us and then make the world end through nuclear war.
Yeah, definitely. But before that happens, we'll wrap up this episode. And of course, you can find us, Always an Adventure, on YouTube to see us gesticulating wildly. Or Spotify, where you could probably just hear weird flapping noises. If you head over to Twitter, AAA_AlexSam.
Trademark.
Much poo awaits. Not all the poos. There's some poos that we kept in the poo bank for special occasions like birthdays and Christmases. We now have, give or take, 50 followers. That's discounting myself.
And me.
Yeah, so it keeps flitting between 52, 51, 52, 51, 53, 52. So people keep coming and going after reading our terrible tweets.
They can't handle all the poo updates.
There's not that many. They haven't had a poo update for 2 weeks.
What will they do with themselves?
Start doing their own. Maybe we'll inspire a copycat profile.
That's how it would be. That's how the world ends.
Not with a bang, but with poo updates.
Copycat Twitter that is also more popular than ours.
Whilst you're there, why not tweet us a question to feature on our next episode? But please make it less political, fewer. Because this episode got real fucking involved. And this is stepping away from the irreverence that we normally do. Very much so. Which was still engaging, but I feel that it's not entirely in tone with our stupidity.
If anyone gives us too serious a question again, we might just have to answer it in the stupidest way we can.
Yeah, I thought with religion and conspiracies, I thought we would just lean right into it. Seeing as this is our return to format after whatever last time was, I'm assuming that at some point someone's going to ask how many somethings I can fit into my mouth to even the score. Apparently I can fit zero cider in my mouth whilst you're eating beans. Oh yeah, we've also got Facebook as well, but I think only our friends really use that, which is good, which is actually 90% of our fan base. Thank you very much. Thank you people who ask questions this week. That's really it. I'm fucking so hot. My brain is turning into porridge. See you next time for some more guff facts.
So take care. Take care. Take care.
So horrifying.
Horrendous sample-based monstrosity with the generic beat under. Some sort of horrendous sample-based monstrosity with the generic beat under.